92s.
Because they mailed it to you to let you know.
Good, they're there. Okay.
Yeah. And now we're not on the list.
We should be live.
We're live.
We're not? Okay, let's go. Workshop commission meeting, 6:00 PM Wednesday, October 23rd, 2024. Pledge of allegiance, please.
The flag, United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call, please.
Good evening. Commissioner Jacobs is absent. Acting Clerk Commissioner Kashem is running late. Clerk Commissioner Hodgkins? Here. Vice Mayor Morset?
Here.
Mayor Mohammed?
Here.
We have quorum.
Okay. Are there any deletions or withdrawals to the agenda?
Yes, Mayor. I think the item that Commissioner Jacobs had on the agenda, he wants that removed.
Item what, 7.3?
That's right, Mayor.
Yes.
And then I am also going to pull 7.4. Right, Susie? Did you get anything for 7.4 or not yet? From Tamarack? She's not paying any attention. Attorney, did you get the thing from Tamarack yet or no?
No, anything from Tamarack. Some of the aisles I have. But not
Okay,
Tamarack.
Tamarack, okay. All right, so yeah, so I'm gonna pull 7.4.
Should I be expecting something, Mayor?
Well, Susie did a public records request for it. So I'm hoping to get something from somebody. But we'll see. Okay. So I'm pulling 7.4 and you're pulling 7.3. And with that, that is the only thing that we are looking to remove from the agenda at this time.
So, did you say 7.3?
Yep, 7.3 and 7.4.
Oh, it's him, yeah. Okay.
Okay. So I'll entertain a motion to move forward with the agenda.
You don't
Yes,
need to
everybody's
work
in
on
agreement? Let's go. Okay. So
You can have one.
marathon. Let's do marathon.
the Workshop.
Marathon workshop. Let's do it. Okay, 5.1, canceling of Beta Jones contract. Marathon, remember that. You're up.
Yes, Your Honor. Thank you so much. This particular item is one in which there was a contract for the purposes of the master plan over at the park. Portion of that money has been expended, but it's become clear and obvious that continuation of the contract would be a waste of additional time and money, and therefore we ask that the final meeting that goes forward for a vote include an item in which that the remainder of that contract is canceled, Your Honor.
Okay. Are there any objections to that? If not, we'll put that on consent for next meeting. Yes. All right, consent, please.
If I may just add one point on that item, Mayor, I did have a conversation with Mr. Williamson with regards to that item. We also spoke with Commissioner Kashem. You may remember at the last meeting, she had some discussion, wanted to meet with the interim manager at the time. We are looking if there's any opportunity to recover any of the funds that have been paid for work that might have otherwise not been expended. We're looking at that as well.
Okay, sounds good. Thank you.
Pass this down to the other commissioner.
5.2, Public
It's the resume,
Works
this next item.
Director position.
That would be you. Thank you very much, Your Honor, members of the commission. There have been some meetings for the purposes of interview. Mr. Williamson and a team that preceded me spent a fair amount of time identifying appropriate individuals. The name that came forward was a person by the name of Stanley Morantis. And as a matter of fact, Commissioner Morissette at this moment is passing down a copy of his resume. And if there are any more details with reference to his qualifications, capabilities, I was very impressed by the report that Mr. Williamson gave me. This is my third day here at work, but I was very impressed by the information he passed on to me about this young fellow's outstanding qualifications. And the nice thing is, despite his youth, he's had quite a fast vertical ascendance in experience, and he could be around here for a long time, contributing mightily. I had some meetings with members of the Public Service Department. Manny is here tonight, but the fact is that that department is anxiously awaiting for the captain of the ship to take the helm.
And Mayor and Commission, if I may, if we are given the authority to move forward, we'd like to expedite bringing Ms. Morantis in over the next 2 weeks. It's critical to that department that we have some leadership there. We have projects that are on the shelf that we are trying to pull down and get started. Mr. Larzabal Manny, the Deputy Public Service Director, has done an outstanding job coming in over the last month and a half, but he certainly needs, the assistance of a full-time Public Service Director with that civil engineering background as well. And as soon as we can get him on board, we can aggressively move forward with some of the projects and some of the backlog that we have in that department. So if you would please allow us to expedite that over the next 2 weeks, it would be very appreciative.
Okay. Have you guys had a,
I think this looks promising. He looks promising. Sorry, Stanley.
Bill?
I haven't really had a chance to even look at it, but
All right. So,
I can look at it and
get back, yeah.
I will get back to you in the morning.
Not me, him. Yeah.
Town manager in the morning,
Okay,
the assistant
Okay.
town manager in the morning,
okay. And if so, then,
everybody.
yeah.
Sure.
So can you have the resolution ready for the hiring of the Public Works Director and put on a consent agenda? If there is a consensus. Okay,
That's a consent with me, yeah.
Yes.
okay. 6.1 radios for town, IT Director Mark Pakula.
Show them to us, Mark. You didn't bring a sample?
No, I did not. Good evening, Mayor and Commissioners. Mark Bakula, IT Director. So we have looked at a couple different companies, and we've settled on the Motorola radios, mainly for public works throughout the town. These are not cell radios. These are working on a radio network, so we have another avenue in case we have any kind of emergencies. Mainly our public works, police will have them, code, everywhere throughout the town. So we'll be able to communicate better, plus we can use them for events.
Okay. So you have, in particular, you're recommending?
Yes, we're recommending industrial communications. Basically, we're going to order 19 radios with all the support hardware that comes with it. We can always order more down the road. There's no limit to how many we can get, but we think 19 is a good start. Keeps us right around just under $25,000.
Okay.
How are we paying for that? We got the money?
Yes, we have the money.
Okay.
Oh, it's important that we can communicate in an emergency.
Yes, and having these last couple of hurricanes, it would have been nice to have them. They reach over about 2/3 of the state of Florida. So if people are traveling or whatever, we can communicate just like we're right next door.
A wise thing.
All right, perfect. And so you have,
Are we going to move that to consent?
I'm
Yes.
looking to see. If so, yes.
Not to exceed 25,000,
Yeah.
if I may.
Okay. Yep, let's put that on consent. We
Any
don't-
questions? Do you want to do the holiday party thing?
Do you have something else up there?
Want to do that?
Which one do you have?
I'll bring you back up.
Okay.
Yeah.
Any other questions? Thank you very much.
6.2, janitorial service recommendation?
Yes, Your Honor, if I could be heard.
You're not in court.
Thank you, Your Honor. The fact is, folks, that's right. You're still Your Honor, Your Honor. Safeguard Services was the low bid, and the bid amount was very similar to the amount of the current contract, a little bit higher. This is for the janitorial services for this building alone. So by moving forward with this as the low bidder, we're essentially maintaining a very similar amount of cost for the building that we currently have. And we anticipate after the interview that's taken place by Mr. Williamson and his staff that the service will be as good, if not better, based on what he's been able to determine. So I ask that this be moved to the full agenda.
Okay.
Will this include the third floor?
Well, actually, the third floor is somewhat under some renovation plans at the moment. So I think the only janitorial services that they have now are basically none, but I believe they will include them upon their completion. Is that correct?
Yes, when we bidded it out, that was a conversation. They had a walkthrough of all 3 floors, and they realized that when we come to full renovations, that they'll be taking over that floor as well. But it is included. But there's nothing up there to clean. There's no staff up there right
So
now.
it's included in that bid?
Yes.
Okay, sounds good. All right. Thank you. So I'll put that on consent too. awarding it to, who is it, Safeguard Services?
Yes.
Okay. 6.3, disaster debris removal and disposal service recommendations.
Yes, Your Honor, this matter is one in which the primary and secondary firms are recommended for the purposes that we have preparation, just in case the emergency activities that are taking place in the community make it such that the primary bidder is unable to do so, and we've got a backup, and interestingly, their name is Aftermath, disaster debris removal. So I'd ask that both of those matters be taken on to the full agenda for purposes of passage, Your Honor.
All right, sounds good.
I have a question here. Do we pay a certain amount of money for them standing by? Or how does this work?
What was the question, Vice Mayor?
These companies that do cleanup after a hurricane, do we pay them up front for
No,
a
no,
contract?
they invoice.
Only if we use
Right.
them?
Only if we use them, correct.
Okay.
I'll also offer, Mr. Vice Mayor, if I could, there's an opportunity for FEMA reimbursement for all of these agreements. There are certain federal requirements that these contracts are required to include. So there's statutory language and language consistent with the Code of Federal Regulations that are in these agreements that you will not typically see in the agreement. But all those terms are required in order to be eligible for FEMA reimbursement. And that would occur after the fact.
Thank you.
Okay. All right, so you have that for consent. Thank you. 6.4, police chief draft agreement.
Your Honor, this contract is for our current chief, who currently does not have a contract. He's engaged in the negotiation process with the town attorney. The terms of this are competitive. In fact, in some ways, not quite as competitive with some other communities, but they have been negotiated based on the outstanding performance we've had from our entire department, and in particular this chief. We ask that this be moved to the consent agenda at the next meeting.
And I would also just offer, I'm sorry, Mr. Williams, and I would also just offer that while we haven't negotiated the business terms of the agreement, we have reviewed the contract as a matter of legal form and certainly supported from a sufficiency standpoint.
Right. And I'd like to echo what the town attorney has said, that we looked at it from a fiscal point, and we did have a brief conversation, I and the chief did, about the compensation adjustment, and I did let him know that, of course, that would have to be final determination by the commission upon your review of the contract. I don't know if we're going to negotiate a contract during the commission meeting or between now and the commission meeting, town attorney.
It's entirely up to the commission. If the commission wanted to delegate the authority to the manager and
Could we get the information beforehand so then we can make an intelligent decision?
Yeah, I don't have a problem with that. You're just looking for the business terms. I mean, if you're talking, I mean, I think ultimately whatever document you see for consideration will be the recommendation of your city manager, town manager, and professional staff.
Okay.
Now, I am gonna throw,
Unless, changes beforehand.
Okay.
okay. So I am gonna ask a couple of silly questions with some of the contracts that are coming before us. Is there a conversation or communication between the HR department, the benefits coordinator, and these contracts?
As far as the concern for the chief?
As far as concern for the chief, as far as concern for the manager, because I know that at the last, when the last chief's contract came up, there was discrepancies in the benefits that, you weren't here for that, but you were.
Right.
There were discrepancies in the benefits that the town provides as far as life insurance, group life insurance, and benefits like that. And I'm kind of seeing the same thing again in this contract, and I saw the same.
What I did with the police contract, I did give it to HR. She did review it. She left comments in the review section for me to look at. I did not make changes that she highlighted. I left them as is. She just highlighted some things that weren't the same as our HR manual. It would have to be left up to the decision of the commission to make those changes specifically for this contract. So we gave you the contract as is without the HR comments. Now what I can do is go back and add those comments to highlight those sections that are different than your HR manual. That would be helpful, I believe.
Okay.
Yeah, can we get those?
Sure.
Add those on. Thank you.
Members of the commission, there are some business terms contained in the draft contract, which is in your packet currently. So we will review those and make sure that post haste, you can know that we have confidence in whatever those terms are, so that when you come back to this next meeting, you'll know that those are terms that we have confidence in. You certainly have the right to change those if you want to. But it's my understanding that the chief is relatively happy with the draft that we've prepared up to this point. I don't see him shaking his head no at this point. So I think we're actually, the draft that you have right now, if nothing changed, it would be consistent with what the parties believe are the appropriate business terms right now.
Okay, so I'm gonna just make sure that we reiterate, because we do offer group benefits of group life insurance of up to $216,000 for department heads. And so are these contracted employees considered to be department heads, or are they considered to be separate and apart, where they don't get the same benefits that the department heads do get because they're contracted? So that's where my questions are kind of rolling. And then also making sure that, understanding that the salaries are budgeted, but are they also matching up with what was advertised or what was done as far as the salaries that were adopted by the commission in the salary surveys?
I believe that's something HR had looked at during the course of their review, but we will certainly reconfirm that between now and the meeting.
And the only thing I can confirm is for the 24-25 fiscal year, the budget for this salary is 160, Mr. Daverman? That's right. And we're, above that. So that would be a discussion that would have to occur with the commission and the chief. I think we settled with a little higher amount. I don't want to start getting into amounts in a workshop, but that would be a discussion that you would have to take on.
I don't want to beat a dead horse, but commission members, the mayor is right. I noticed that inconsistency as well, Your Honor, and so I will review that with HR, communicate with the town attorney so that those terms can be brought into compliance with HR's evaluation, because there are some inconsistencies, and I just think we haven't been lining them up.
Yeah, I would like to see more of a, I know we're using contracts that were done from before that came in during the 2021-2020-ish timeframe, but those contracts that we're recycling don't match up to what the benefits are in the city. So I would like to see some consistency, or at least know that, hey, maybe department heads and contracted employees do not get the same benefits, and if so, then we need to make it clear so that.
I understand what you're saying, Mayor. We will reconfirm that. And I think you raise a fair point. We have a relatively new police department. I don't know whether the commission has ever determined formally that the police chief is a department head. I suggest he probably is. It is a department of the town.
Well, that's what I'm trying to understand too, because I kind of harped on it before. I kind of
go
harped
home
on it
again. We're almost
before with the benefits coordinator, because of the fact that there's a group plan, there's long-term, short-term disability, there's things like that, and they're not being addressed in these
We will get with the
contracts.
manager and HR.
Okay. All right, sorry, that was my little 2 cents. Okay, so that'll be on for the next meeting. 7.1 scooter safety ordinance. I am sorry that you guys did not get the little paperwork. I had kind of put this on the agenda about 2 months ago.
Explain it quickly for us.
Yes, so basically, in, I think March or May, whatever it was, the state basically passed that anyone under 16 on any type of electric thingamabobby, is what I'm gonna say, because it includes scooters, bikes, and all that other stuff that these kids are riding nowadays. If you're under 16, you need to have a helmet. So what some of the cities are doing is they're passing ordinances where you register the scooters, and then we'll be able to kind of also use that to make sure that the kids are wearing helmets. So like one city in Miami, they have it where you basically go to the city's website, you register your scooter. It helps if the scooters are lost, but also if they're underage, it gives the parent the rules of, hey, if you're going to ride a scooter on our streets and you're under 16, you need to have a helmet. If we catch you doing it the first time, we'll give you a warning. The second time, you'll pay a $25 fee, and then they kind of take the money and use it to buy helmets for the kids. And I know we have grant money available for our helmet program that they applied for like couple years ago that we haven't utilized and given out the helmets. So this would be something similar to what other cities are doing, which is the registration keeps us informed so that if somebody's scooter is stolen, we'll have a VIN number on file, and also just to make sure that the kids are wearing helmets so that if they, we want to protect their little heads.
I have no objections. I think it's a brilliant idea.
If there's consensus, Mayor, we'll prepare an ordinance to bring back for your review.
Yes?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. All right. Thank you. 7.
It'll be an ordinance.
Yeah.
An-
So 7.2, discussion and possible action to censure Commissioner Jacobs. Commissioner Hodgkins?
Yes, once again, unfortunately, I feel it necessary that we censure Commissioner Jacobs again for making intimidating and threatening statements in violation of our code of conduct for elected officials. The town's ordinance, he's clearly violating all of that, and we just need to do it again and go through the motions again. Unfortunately, it doesn't seem to have much effect on him, but I would like support in that direction.
You definitely have it.
And we will work on a resolution consistent with the commissioner's direction and with the commission's permission. We'll work with Commissioner Hodgkins to ensure that it embraces his intent
Okay. Can I add stuff
at the meeting.
on the thing? Can I
Well,
give you my complaints?
If the commissioner has no objection, we'll
Objections with me adding stuff to your censorship?
No, I don't.
Okay, thank you.
we will prepare a document.
But isn't it a fact that you cannot threaten people with violence? That's also a violation of the law.
Remember, that's not a town issue. That's a state criminal issue. Correct. That is not an issue that the town would enforce. But you've got a very capable, very competent police department, a police chief sitting in the back of the room. They would be the proper venue for that particular issue.
And what I'd like to bring up before we close that item is that I know Mark was telling me that we do have cameras in here that are capable of recording. We have recording equipment that's capable of recording certain parts of things that once commissioners come into the room so that we can actually see what people are saying, hear what people are saying. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Mark. You want to explain it
The
better?
recording we have, but it was like not the time being, because the meeting will start at 7 o'clock and it was 6:45, so it was not recorded.
I would like Mark to
Good
explain.
evening, Mayor and Commissioners.
Okay.
Yes, our camera system within the town, and we have a separate audio recording system. The cameras are turned off by default because we don't have a policy that enables us to record cameras, audio through the cameras. I talked to Commissioner Hodgkins, and I said that's something that probably needs to be brought up with our manager and our legal and in front of the commission. If the commission wants that, we could, as we say, light the room up before the meeting, and there's a lot of recording going on, and if something was done, not that we could catch it, but we would catch more than what we do now. Because as we do it now, once we start the meeting, all that equipment gets turned on, but it's not turned on prior to. So
So,
So you wanna
you
make
think
us-
you can,
it's totally however you, if you want to have it where when the meeting starts or commissioners walk in the room, Susie, whoever's running the meeting, could turn on the audio recording only. It's a separate system that enables these mics. There's also recording, audio recording within the cameras that we have throughout the building. But these cameras in this room could be just turned on also.
but it will be in future, but what about we are talking about the things happened last meeting. So
Well, there's
we
no,
able
just,
to-
it's, they're on or not. So, it invades,
Can't go backwards, but we can prevent,
Yeah, in future.
we can prevent future.
you would, basically in a sense, when there's a meeting, when you're in this room, there's audio recording going on.
There was any witness when he was talking to you?
No,
Anyone
the
heard?
two of us were sitting here just like
There's just video, unfortunately. There's
this
no
video. That's all.
Mayor and Commission, the only drawback to this,
Have a lip reader, unfortunately.
the only drawback to this is, as you know, before a commission meeting, we're talking, we're moving around, there's laughter, etc. There's a lot of background noise, and that's what the public will see. Typically, in a commission meeting, there is silence. Those mics are silenced just to prompt the general public, letting them know there's no meeting occurring. But if you turn those mics on and go live, all that filter would be going back to the public, and it doesn't sound very well when you're watching that outside of this chamber, because those mics are very sensitive. So keep that in mind. If you do that, we'd have to post a sign letting everyone know that the mics are live, pre-meeting. But that's typically not the practice of a commission meeting. It usually is silent for that reason. So just be aware, if you do that, every sound in this chamber will be picked up and the public will hear that.
Well, I don't want the public to think that we're having a good time here. But I would like to prevent something from happening. And we're in an age where there's school shootings, there's all kinds of weird stuff going on. People are dying every day. Post office employees shooting people. You just got to do something about it. And without any kind of protection at all, just like the incident that just happened. I don't want to go through that again.
Well, maybe hopefully we can look at the system where it can, filter as much as possible, yet pick up what we need to in at least this general area. I don't know if that's possible. We do have an audio-visual technician that's going to be renovating the entire chamber and bringing in, better cameras and
Like I said, it's
wireless
cheaper
speakers.
to get a lip reader.
Yeah, so, but we're going. It's a pleasure of the commission. I just want to make you aware that's not a standard practice for a commission meeting beforehand. And if you do that, everything we do in here will be picked up, and we'd have to put up signs letting everyone know that it's a live recording the moment you step in this chamber.
Okay. And on another note, I was going to suggest that we still look into, I know you disagreed with this before because of the wording in it, but that we allow punishment of some sort for really bad behavior, which I would say that would go through the magistrate, a hearing at the magistrate, and look forward to that. Give our attorney a direction to go and look into all that and see if what he can come up with that would make it work better language-wise, because I know you didn't like the language, because you thought it was going to weaponize the building department, the code enforcement.
Yeah, and you may recall we had that conversation about 6 months ago with regards to utilizing Chapter 162, the code enforcement process, to enforce the code of conduct. That remains a legally available option to the town. At the time, the commission, thought better of using that process, but to the extent that there was an interest in moving in that direction, again, we're certainly happy to follow your direction.
Can you look into other options for doing this? Because we've literally spent money for these investigations, and they're writing these reports, but we're not getting any change in action. It's like you're putting it out there, you're showing the bad behavior, you're doing the investigations, but there's no repercussions from it. So we need other avenues to say, hey, if you're behaving badly, if you're doing things outside of what should be done of your job here in this building. We have several lawsuits for hostile work environment. Us on this dais, our only option is to do a public censorship, which does nothing to protect us up here from being bullied or anything else that we're experiencing here on the dais. The employees have the option of filing a workplace harassment lawsuit, but what options do we have up here? There's nothing to protect us. There's nothing to stop someone from continuing this aggressive, egregious behavior. So we need options for us other than waiting until the next election cycle to say, hey, we're going to find somebody for this district or that district or whatever. And it's 4 years that we're stuck being bullied, attacked, and abused. So we need to look at other avenues to say, hey, this is not your job. And therefore, if you're acting outside the scope of your job, then you need to be held liable for acting outside the scope of your job.
I don't know, we've had this conversation different ways, different times over the course of the past 18 months. We also know, and again, I don't want to beat a dead horse given our prior discussions, there are options, but those options are limited. The only real authority with regards to reprimanding or taking more significant action against an elected municipal official is through the governor's office. To the extent that the commission wanted to send any future or past correspondence to the governor's office, that is an option. You've already had one articles of censure resolution adopted by the commission. To the extent the commission move forward with another article of censure, with your collective permission, we would put together a package including both of those documents and any other information the commission wanted to communicate. That could all be sent up to the governor's office in Tallahassee. The other thought I had was, the commission has a number of lobbyists under contract. You all recently extended those contracts within the past 60 days, 90 days, round numbers. To the extent that any of the folks that we have under contract in Tallahassee that may have some doors open in the governor's office, you may want to utilize resources you have to get some attention in Tallahassee. There may be some options, but again, those options are going to require some outside assistance. We will continue to work with your manager and professional staff to look at those different opportunities.
David, do you have the ear of the governor?
I know where he lives.
You're gonna
White
come up,
House.
yeah, because I do wanna, to ask the commission, would we like to give direction to our lobbying team to, have this conversation with the governor, also to see about, coming up collectively with some things that we would like to see put forward. Like, I would like to see something where hostile work environment of commissioners' behavior gets some type of bill moving forward in the legislature for the next session. I think that's one thing that we could utilize, that it's not written. Also, when we looked before, there's only 13 states in the United States that actually have the ability to remove commissioners for their bad behavior. Out of the 50 odd states that we have, there's only 13. So I think that's some language that we could actually ask our lobbying team to try to see if we can get someone to sponsor a bill with that ability to say, hey, we want to be able to remove bad actors, especially when it's putting the town at risk of liability for all these hostile work environment lawsuits. That's going to be placed on the burden of the taxpayers and not on the burden of that one bad actor, or to basically find a way to say, hey, if you're not acting within the scope of your job, even though you're here supposedly doing a job, you foot those bills, because it's not fair to us as taxpayers to be footing a bill for one bad actor when we have so many lawsuits and it's that person's behavior, not them doing their job.
The other option, Mayor, and again, this is not an option that the town would control or the town would be involved in, but the other option that Florida law provides for the removal of an elected official is the municipal recall process. It is preempted to state law. There are no local provisions with regards to recall, but there's a very detailed and comprehensive process in the statutes that govern that specific process. Again, it's a grassroots process that comes from the community. Requires several petitions, requires the involvement of the supervisor of elections, requires a special election, but that is the other opportunity that's available, not to this town, but to your residents.
Okay. Dave, and then I think one of our residents wants to speak as well. Yes or no? Okay, because I saw you got up and moved closer to the mic, so I was like, reading the room.
Good evening, Mayor and Commission. David Sigerson, consultant for the town. Yes, on your lobbying team, there are a couple of individuals who do have relationships in the governor's office to answer that question. So the answer to that question is yes. And as far as what the mayor was talking about in terms of legislation, we are, ready to take direction from the will of this commission. I am familiar with the Florida statutes. I know a little bit about some of the other states' statutes. I believe that the governor actually does have the authority, as your attorney explained, I think at the last meeting, under both specifically with respect to municipal officials, it is in state statute, and it mirrors what is in the Constitution. I believe I'm right about that.
Correct.
So we're, for the will of the commission, we will do one or the other or both.
Well, I think now would be the time to start putting together whatever we're going to put together, if we're going to look for any language to be added to some bills up there so that they could start shopping it around. Never too early, right?
Yes, that is correct.
So
I'm sorry,
if
that's correct.
you guys want to give our lobbying team direction to do something like that, I think we need to put that
I
on.
certainly do, and I think all the investigations that we've had, they should have copies of all of those, make sure that they get all the information they need to go forwards and get it done. Because this is just getting to the point where it's ridiculous.
Okay.
And it's a safety concern as far as I'm concerned.
Okay, definitely.
Yeah, I would suggest, respectfully suggest, that since there's already a process in place we believe for the governor to take action in an extreme case, which his public comment, let me say this first. The governor's public comments on this very issue were something to the effect that, well, I can't remove a local municipal elected official except if they've committed a crime. I think that your town attorney and myself, that we would respectfully disagree with the governor on that. but it may just be that he was unfamiliar with that statute. And so my suggestion, if it's the will of this commission, is that we can open a conversation, maybe a backdoor conversation with the governor's office on that issue and see if they are open to our interpretation of what the, well, it's not interpretation, it's in the statute.
Yeah, and I'll just read for the statute, just from the record. It's section 112.51 speaks to suspension and removal from office for municipal officers. Subsection 1 is very clear. By executive order stating the grounds for the suspension and filed with the Secretary of State, the governor may suspend from office any elected or appointed municipal official for malfeasance, misfeasance, neglect of duty, habitual drunkenness, incompetence, or permanent inability to perform official duties. Those are the criteria under Florida law. It goes on to speak to suspension in the event that a elected official is charged with a crime, misdemeanor or felony, or convicted. There are different penalties in the event both of those or either of those things should occur. But absent a charge, a criminal charge, for those specific criteria, misfeasance, malfeasance, etc., the governor has the unequivocal right by executive order to suspend municipal officers.
Yes, and I would just offer further that misfeasance and malfeasance refer to doing things incorrectly or maybe even borderline illegally with respect to their official duties. I'm not sure how the behavior that you're concerned about falls within those definitions, but that's something that, you know, can be looked into.
Okay. So I think the direction from this commission is, and I'm leaning towards you more so,
Yes.
Bill, is one, we do the public censorship for the next meeting. Two, we're directing the town attorney to send the packet up to the governor's office with everything, including the Tanya Haddard report, the Schutz and Bone report,
All three.
all
of them.
reports, all the public censorships, the OIG reports.
Yeah, and if I could get a psychiatric evaluation, I would send that along too, but I don't think we're going to be able to get one of those.
Unfortunately not, no. And then we're also going to be looking at our lobbying team to put together something to change the statute to give us more teeth to be able to have ways of removal other than just the governor's office. Correct? Yes or no?
Yes.
Okay.
Well put.
Okay. So I think those are the,
And we will wait to prepare a package to transmit until we have another resolution of censure that's been considered and adopted by the commission.
okay. Sounds fair? Sounds good?
Fair.
So,
Okay.
question for the attorney: is this directive, this consensus? I'm assuming this is a consensus here. Is that sufficient direction for us?
Yeah, I think there's consensus from the commission. I mean, we have our direction. I think you've got your direction, and we're happy to coordinate together.
Okay, just want to clarify that.
Mayor Commission, may I please? And David will agree. And what the directive that you're providing to this lobbying team, typically, this is something that is vetted through the Florida League of Cities Policy Committee before it reaches Tallahassee. And typically it needs a consensus of many municipalities for it to move. And I'm just being the elephant in the room, and it's good to have David Lynch here because I can bounce my ideas off of him, he can bounce them off me, and we get it right in the end. I just want to put a little caution in the air that we don't want to, use up all our political capital on an issue like this when we have so many other important funding mandates that we need out of Tallahassee. So, certainly, we respect what the commission wants always, and we would do as directed. But being a senior member coming out of legislature and spent some time in Tallahassee, I know that typically an issue like this that wants to get some traction for a legislative, law to be made, typically it goes to the Florida League of Cities Policy Committee, and they have these types of discussions for municipalities, because it won't just affect this city, it'll affect all cities. So the Florida League of Cities would weigh in on that matter fairly quickly. And David knows this. And so just keep that in mind as we move forward with this directive.
Yeah, you gave us, thank you. But I want this town to be safe. I do not want to come into this commission chamber and sit up here thinking some nutcase might come through the door and start shooting at us. So as far as I'm concerned, we're going to continue going in the direction that we're
No, I just wanted to make that clear, fairly clear, that if that becomes a discussion, it will have to be filtered through the Florida, already into our Florida League of Cities committee meetings. This is not an issue on the table to go to Tallahassee. It certainly can be discussed with our lobbying team in Tallahassee. It certainly can be a message that we take to Tallahassee. Maybe some language, as the mayor indicated, could be going to another bill that addresses these specific concerns. So I'm
saying there's a rule of law that says we have to go through the Florida League of Cities.
No.
No.
Oh, thank you.
No, sir. No, sir. No, none whatsoever. I'm just saying, because the Florida League of Cities typically takes up these types of issues that affect all municipalities across the state, it usually comes in the format of a possible law or policy through summer, and then by the time the committees start meeting in October, November, December, the Florida League of Cities makes their choices on what they want to push to support and defend municipalities, home rule for being one of them, and of course safety and security as well. That's all I was saying. But I fully support what you're saying, as well as ensuring that we're safe and we're secure in this chamber at all times.
Okay.
Mayor, if I might add to those comments, which I agree with, I think that the point that Chandler was really trying to make is that one city with one problem, big problem, one city with one problem going to Tallahassee and say, hey, pass a state law to fix our individual problem has a very low probability of success. But if you have the League of Cities making it a priority issue, in other words, it's a problem in more than one city, and I'm sure it probably is. I wouldn't doubt that in the least. But if you can go to the legislature and say, this is a problem not just in Pembroke Park, but in this place and this place and this place, then you're much more likely to get their ear.
I understand that, David. You're talking about passing legislation to do this.
I am talking about passing. That's what I do.
We're looking at the. I'm looking at the now.
Well, that's why
not the
that's
later.
why I say
That's
you
great
should
for later.
explore both avenues. And I am planning it. Excuse me. Planning on being at the next league policy meeting in Orlando is the Friday the 8th. I'm planning on being there. It's something that I can begin to talk to other people about, feel them out, try to see if there's others that are having this kind of problem, to begin that process. So that's really kind of a third avenue. There's maybe 3 doors that we can follow.
I actually invited the governor for coffee, but he didn't show. I didn't get it. I don't get it.
I heard on the news just a few days ago that this is a very common problem, but usually the threats against commissioners, councilmen, is from the outside, and it was like I don't know how many percentage it was, but a very high percentage of councilmen that have been threatened. But that's a police issue. When it comes from inside the commission, it's a different story.
Yes, I would agree. But I'm sure Pembroke Park is not the only place where this is an issue.
There are plenty of cities that are having similar situations, not to the extent that we're having them, but there are similar situated cities where they're having a lot of employees who are having issues with road commissioners. It's just that the road commissioners aren't attacking their fellow commissioners on the dais, but they are going a lot of times after staff members. I'm going to let the resident speak because I see his finger twitching. So
What's in the finger?
I know he wanted to speak, so let me just,
Let the steam out.
yes.
All right. Okay. Good evening, everybody.
Good evening. State your name.
My name is Jean Daniel Lazar. I live right there.
Right there, your address,
Really, right
please.
there. You can walk through right there. 5216 Southwest 32nd. Last year, November 14, 2023, I stood up here.
Speak into the microphone,
Yeah.
please.
Last year, November 14, 2023, I stood up here after I witnessed the act where our mayor was disrespected to a point where I look at my kids, my daughters, my wife, my mom, my grandma, to be reaching a certain level, and then for somebody to remember where you are still you're still disposable. That's what I saw. And someone can use a public resources as the chief of that town to basically search the mayor based on, I'm going to use the word accusation. Today, right now, I really was enjoying the dynamic from everybody, how we were moving items to positive aspect. And I take this it's very difficult for me to hear our clerk commissioner to be in a position where he could have been badly hurt, because that could have gone really bad. Today is October 23rd, 2024. I would like to make sure that such act never happened, not only to our city employees, but also to our commissioners, and especially our mayors. As a matter of fact, this is very disappointing. This is a very disappointing act right now, to hear what happened to you, and I apologize on behalf of the city. I know, and I'm just going to take the responsibility to say, I apologize the fact that you come here to conduct our business and you were attacked. Your safety was threatened. On behalf of the city, I apologize to you.
No, thank you.
And I know I don't have the power to make motion, if I may, but I would like to make some sort of motion for us to find a way to censor, find a way not only for this act, but the future act where something like that happened, where somebody truly been attacked, that the commission will have provision to have such person to be removed, censored, whatever that is in place. This city I mentioned last time, this city is very small. Yes.
Do you guys give permission to go past the 3-minute mark? Commissioners, do you give
Yeah,
direction?
another 3
Okay.
minutes.
Okay. This city is very small and the potential is massive. Literally, you can have your neighbor to be, hey, hi, neighbor. That's how small we are. We can have a family type of community here. And when you, and I'm very passionate about my public servants, and I always mention that. I want my maintenance guy, I want my chief, I want everybody to feel good coming to work here. And so far, like right now, I don't feel that is the case. And I know some of us can defend ourselves, but that should not be the case. You should not be coming here and then be feeling like you're threatened and then you have to defend yourself. You should be able to do your hours, provide the service that you apply for to provide to our community, and afterward go home safely. This is very disappointing. And I'm sorry if I may address you, Mr. Attorney.
With the mayor's permission?
And I'm so sorry. I will put my name on that list to move this forward. Where any of the reason why I'm using the word mine, because everybody who, when I wake up, going to work, and I see my guys picking up palm farms, these are my people. When I go to the park, these are my people. My county manager, these are my people. I'm very protective of you guys. I appreciate anybody to make you feel threatened, to be disrespected, to feel less as a person.
Yeah, I agree
When
with
you come here to do your
no one,
job.
no one should have to feel that way, and that's why we're moving forwards with some of the actions that you saw tonight that we're doing.
I would love to, and whatever that is needed, let's clean up our city. Even let's do what we gotta do, because this should not be happening.
No, it shouldn't. This is a great town. All of our citizens are great. We just need to, we're spending hundreds of thousands of dollars on this undesirable consequence, and it's ridiculous. This is taxpayer money. It's not our money. It's taxpayer money, and seeing it get wasted like that when we could be doing something important down to the park or something else.
Agreed.
You know, it's
Agreed.
terrible. It's a terrible situation.
I had a great time with my family.
That fun?
It was great. It was great.
I think we went over our 3 minutes.
No.
Thank
But
you for
I want to make sure you understand right now, I do not agree with for your safety to be threatened. And I would love, as a citizen, as a voter, right now, I'm going to say I demand for you guys to do something to make sure you are protected, you are safe.
We're doing what we legally can.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate your support. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay.
I just do.
Okay. So, I think
We have a
that's-
direction.
You have your marching orders. All right. Thank you. And then I do want to make sure for the record, we're clear that we're asking our lobby team to lobby on behalf of the town, not to necessarily go through the League of Cities, but to actually use their resources to go higher up and go directly to the members.
Yes.
Okay. With that, I think we are,
7-4.
no, 7.4, I pulled it.
Okay.
Yeah, so I think we're up to attorney's comments.
Thank you, Mayor Commission. I have nothing to add this evening.
Okay.
I appreciate it.
Town manager comments and reports.
Thank you, Madam Mayor, members of the commission. First of all, I just want to say thank you so much for the warm welcome and kindness that's been extended to me. This is my third day here. I want to begin by thanking Chandler Williamson because with grace, professionalism, determined on his part to make sure I was adequately informed and given the tools to do the job that's been put before me. And I've seen the road that he's been paving since he's been here just for a few months, one of which is to hire and bring on board such talented people. I kind of feel like I've been asked to become the manager of a baseball team, and the chief scout comes to me and says, by the way, I just signed 4 20-game winners to our pitching staff. Do you think you can manage this team? Mr. Williamson has been and continues to be the consummate professional, and I appreciate his kindness so much. And I also want to say thank you just to the rest of the staff. I've been learning the ropes throughout the community, getting tours of the responsibilities and facilities that we have. And there are a number of people in this room, from the police department, from the IT folks, to our new outstanding finance director, and to our deputy service director, and even to the guy that's willing to take the phone calls and respond back as I navigate some of the legal issues that are already fomenting along the way from our town attorney. So just a big thank you to everybody. I promise and pledge to all of you that I will live up to your expectations and please do not hesitate, members of the commission. I believe in the leadership, the service leadership model of leadership. That is, I'm here to serve you, and do not hesitate under any circumstance to contact me, and that goes for all the staff people as well. And I just appreciate all your kindness. Looking forward to this outstanding community with its unlimited potential. Having said that, a specific item I'll call to your attention as members of the commission is that it's that time of year again where there's going to be a different company, a different accounting firm, conducting your next fiscal annual audit. And that means you must have an audit committee assembled, and you actually don't have any choice because Florida state law requires that you assemble an audit committee just for the purpose of helping us pick who that next auditing firm is going to be. The town attorney is going to be doing some guidance, making sure that it's appropriate the way in which you do that. But a member of this commission must be on that audit committee, and by state law, must chair that committee. And interestingly enough, to prevent any conflicts of interest, no employee of the city can actually serve on that committee. So at your next meeting, I'm hoping that you can make a designation as it relates to that audit committee, because the sooner that audit committee gets its act together, the sooner we have the new auditing firm, and then the sooner the new auditing firm is working, the less likelihood that we will have audits in which extensions are created. I'd love to see this year be one in which the state audit comes in on time, and that partly is a function of how quickly we can get this part of our work done. So that is going to be on your agenda, hopefully at your next meeting for a vote, so you can determine who that committee is, and we can get through the prerequisites to get a firm on board and get the audit done.
You need 3, right?
Yes, we need 3, but one must be a commission member, and that commission member must serve as the chairperson of that audit. It's really an audit selection
Right.
committee. So I appreciate that, Your Honor. That's the extent of my comments, except for you've got
Some dates.
that have to be changed around. You can do that
Okay.
as you direct.
So I am gonna say that in the past, we used the former finance director. Well, he wasn't the former finance director, but he's currently the finance director for Pompano Beach. Agnew, I don't remember what his last name was, but we also used the finance director for Miramar and Hollywood on the selection committee. And I chaired the committee last time. So I would like to see us calling around to see which finance directors are available from other cities to put on the selection committee.
We
And
can
that way we
accomplish
can
that,
move
Your Honor.
that. Yeah.
Sure. And we'll give you some feedback on that
Are
fairly
you
quickly.
willing to go over?
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, okay.
Okay. So let's move some dates around.
All right. Thank you, Mayor. We would like to move the commission meeting up to November 6th because the week of November 11th through the 16th is National League of Cities in Tampa, and the commission will be out of whack. We'll be there. So we want to move it up, not back. We want to move it up to November 6th. So that's 2 weeks away, regular commission meeting. And then for the Thanksgiving holiday, we want to move that commission workshop to December 2nd, because November 27th is Thanksgiving holiday week. So we want to push that to December 2nd.
Oh, y'all don't want to
Yes,
cook a
ma'am.
turkey and we have a turkey here?
Turkey giveaway is that Monday on the 20th. So we'll be here. And so
Regular commission meeting,
commission meeting, we're moving it to November 6th, 2 weeks from today versus November 13th.
13, we're moving it forward to the 6th.
November 6th, the 13th one.
Yeah.
Right. And then for the commission workshop, which was scheduled for the 27th, we'll move that to December 2nd.
Yes,
And
we're on the 2nd
Thanksgiving.
workshop.
And we cancel on the December 25th.
and we're going to cancel the December 25th workshop because that's Christmas holiday. But if we feel we need a commission meeting before Christmas, we'll call one, and we'll call a workshop or a commission if we feel we need it policy-wise, if we have some action items. If Mr. Lynch feels we have some action items that we need to bring forward, we'll ask for a special meeting.
Can we move Christmas to
December 2nd for the commission workshop
January
instead of 27th. And And that should take care of us for the rest of this year.
You didn't hear me, did you?
No, sir.
Can we move Christmas too?
No, we can't move Christmas. I wish I could have Christmas every day, but no. Okay, so commission meeting, November 6th. Commission workshop canceled for November, moved to December 2nd. And then the last meeting in December will be canceled because it's Christmas week.
Okay.
You got that, clerk?
Everybody's good with that?
Oh, I have
Yes?
forgotten.
Okay.
Everyone's good? All right,
Everybody's
We're
good with
good.
those date changes?
okay.
Sounds like a deal.
Sounds like a plan to me.
We'll all be calling you and it's going, when is it?
Listen,
I will call
Oh,
Susie.
Susie's on top of
Susie.
that.
I'm gonna
I will
tell
call
you,
for that, right?
I'm gonna tell you, we had, so for probably 18 years of me being here, we had the workshops the first Wednesday in a month and the commission meetings the second Wednesday in a month, and everybody was free to move around the cabin for the rest of the month. And so I was so used to that, and it was easy to follow because the first Wednesday you had your workshop, the second Wednesday you had your commission meeting, and everything was done. Right now with these whole every couple of weeks thing, I am so confused on when we have our meetings, and if you guys would I would really appreciate if y'all did that, went back to just first and second Wednesdays of the month and keeping it consistent.
Yeah, I agree with
Okay,
that.
we'll think about that in 2025.
Okay, I thank
And
you.
if you're confused, wait until the next episode.
Listen, first and second Wednesdays, keep it simple.
Tune in again.
Okay, commissioner comments. I'm going to start on that end. Bill, Commissioner Hodgkins,
No, I think I said enough tonight.
Okay.
Thank you.
Acting Clerk Commissioner Kishim.
I really like to thank you, our resident. I'm sorry, I forget your name. Daniel. So I really, really appreciate your support for our Pembroke Parks team. And thank you so much. And I'm late for tonight. I'm sorry, I missed half of the meeting. So I will follow up with my managers if I'm missing anything. Thank you.
I have no more comments. Thank you.
I do want to thank our staff for doing an amazing job with the holiday festival, and looking forward to many more successful events.
I'm sorry. I have one more
No, what?
piece of business.
Okay, go ahead.
We are challenged with our planning and zoning committee. We need you to come back and appoint another member to the planning and zoning committee because one of the members is no longer being responsive. I guess their schedule has gotten too busy. So we would need to appoint someone to the planning and zoning committee, preferably someone that is very familiar with development, construction, et cetera, would be very helpful. Just please keep that in mind. We critically need someone for that position, as the clerk just reminded me. Okay?
How about we use our little tele-thingy system and send out a text message blast to see if anyone's interested in serving on that committee?
I
Because
know.
it would give us more candidates to choose from, and then we'd also, instead of just
Find a
filling that one
candidate.
position, we could fill the board now that we've changed folks around.
All right, clerk, is there a pending meeting that we need? Do we have alternates that were selected previously?
No, there's nobody, since I've been here, there's only been 3 on the board, and we're having trouble with one, so I can't get quorum.
So I want to ask the town attorney, could this commission find someone temporarily so we can get a meeting completed? Or do we have to go through the full process of appointment, et cetera?
Well, we
Someone fill in.
we need to get somebody appointed formally. The commission needs to make an appointment.
Okay, all right, okay.
He's
Don't
he's
hide.
hiding.
I know. I'm trying to give him the.
I have experience
school teacher
in that
look.
field, but
Appoint someone moving forward, just FYI, just keep that on your register to know. Okay, thank you.
all right.
He's hiding.
Want us to request to you? Please.
You'll think about it.
Yes. Is that yes?
He's already on one of
He's
one
on
of
our
boards.
Parks Committee.
Yeah, we need you everywhere. That's why.
Okay.
Yes?
I'll call Susie and find out what's the.
Okay.
He's already on the board.
He can do it?
Yeah,
He's on Parks and he's on our Parks Committee board. He's on your board.
yeah. Just keep that in mind. You need to appoint someone moving forward.
Okay.
No,
Thank you.
of course. I
Can you send out a mass blast on that little?
I have the clerk, yeah, we'll have the clerk send you a reminder
Will you
Okay.
come
and a
next
blast.
time?
No, I'm saying send it through
have bringing
the system.
more.
Yes.
So
Love
all the
it.
residents to
Yes.
say, hey, we have positions available on the boards. If they want to apply, please,
Yes.
please go to our website and
Okay.
get information.
Sure, sure.
Okay, so that's that. The regular commission meeting, I mean, you guys have this. The citizenship drive is this Saturday, but we might be looking
We
at,
might be rescheduling that.
yeah,
Yes.
we might be rescheduling the citizenship drive.
Is going behind or not behind, right? Not,
We didn't advertise it,
oh, okay.
and it's Saturday.
God.
Yeah. Okay, health fair is November 2nd. Thanksgiving giveaway is November 25th. The toy drive is December 19th. Oh, I do want to mention one thing. So we have a Kiwanis Club. They came out to the event for the Fall Festival last week. So we have residents who are interested in applying to be members of the Kiwanis so that they can volunteer at our events. However, our residents are financially strapped and can't afford the membership for the Kiwanis, which is $130 a year per person. And so I've spoken with the car wash in our city, David Rossi's car wash over at Anytime, and he would be willing to donate a day where we utilize the car wash facilities to do a car wash to raise money to sponsor our residents for the Kiwanis Club. So we just have to put signs up, and they will donate a percentage of it to the town for it. So basically, they said is that the workers just need $5 a car wash, or whatever else would go straight to the town for it. So if we're interested in doing that, we can utilize that as an avenue to raise funds to boost our membership drive for the Kiwanis Club.
That would all be on a volunteer basis, correct?
And then the other thing is they're also looking to do a turkey giveaway and would like to partner with us. They have 150 turkeys to give away, but they would like to do it on their facilities. So we want to partner with them and give to our residents. They have turkeys. We just have to bring the people.
We'll speak with them about it. We'll have our event coordinator coordinate with them.
Okay. And with that, I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
All in favor?
Aye.
Meeting adjourned at 7:18.